Hey everybody, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada. We are stand-up comedians.
Stand-up comedians that are currently jobless because of the coronavirus.
We're finally going to be the doctors our mothers wanted us to be.
Is there anything that we don't know?
A lot, actually. We have a lot of questions. We have a lot of answers.
All of them wrong.
But we do have access to
Google.
And a vet.
Oh yeah, my mom's a vet. She knows some stuff. We have to do this again.
Every once in a while, we're going to invite her on. No, we don't. We're going to actually use this. Welcome to Two Non-Doctors.
Yay! Welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
And I'm tired.
I
know. If I tell you why I'm tired, you promise not to make fun of me?
No.
Okay. I decided in my 30s, I was finally going to learn how to French braid my own hair. And I watched tutorials, I watched a bunch of ladies on Instagram, and then I thought that they're going too fast. So then I literally watched a woman on YouTube, which there are a ton of them, by the way, teach you how to French braid your hair. And I almost cried twice.
Because you couldn't do it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't cry because it was so beautiful.
My God, I'm perfect.
I was like, God, I just don't know why I wasted so many years not making my hair gorgeous. So
a French braid, I gotta say, feels a bit outdated. Even when it was in date, it felt outdated. So did you take a picture?
Oh, fuck yourself. I did take a picture. So this is the thing, is I know it is somewhat outdated, but... and this is going to sound so dumb. I've seen Nike commercials where there's a woman boxing and she's all muscular and she's got dope, badass French braids. And I was like, I want to have muscles and French braids.
Oh, you're going for the cornrow French braids, two of them.
Yeah. Two, but chunky, two kind of thick, chunky ones that just look like you could hurt somebody. I don't know when French braids started to become militaristic or aggressive, but there's I know you personally know what French braid I'm talking about. I'm not exaggerating. I did almost cry. It did take me over an hour. I restarted one side 20 times and I knew that I couldn't do it dry because my hair is too curly. So I took a shower. I had it pretty wet. And I couldn't get to the point where I had to re-wet my hair. And then I kept starting and fucking it up and so I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, dumb 14-year-old girls with 9 followers on YouTube can do this. You can do this. Why is this so fucking hard? I don't want to blame everything on my dyslexia. I might just fully be dumb, but I just could not get past the second step, and I couldn't figure out what to do with my hands, and I kept forgetting which ones to grab hair with. It took so much full concentration. If I had asked my mom to teach me and had practiced when I was younger, just like a language, it wouldn't think anything of it. And that's why you watch these YouTube tutorials and they're like, do, and it's done. And you're like, no, not do, it's done. My brain can't fathom, I sound so dumb, but I don't care. It was really hard. I did it.
But you did it. It's a hard thing to do to just pick up off the bat. These people are teaching you because they've been doing it for years and they make it seem easy because it's easy for them. It's like if we did a comedy thing, well, all you have to do to tell jokes on stage is get up there, have some material ready, and then do it. Well, what's the problem? Just like that.
We're talking about folding hair. And the difference between a braid and a French braid is that you slowly add hair while you're folding it. And I'm slightly better at it and clearly not as turned around when I'm doing it on somebody else. I think it would have been a lot easier if my hair was straight. But then I was thinking Black women do this all the time and they do it really tiny braids. So who am I to complain that I have curly hair?
Do you know what the problem is, Liz, is you've been trying to braid your hair for a decade at least. For as long as I've known you, you've always wanted to be able to do braids and you never have been able to do braids. And I remember you getting mad at me because when I destroyed my hair because I had dyed it blonde too many times and I had to braid it because I had no other option. It's just because this is years of you trying to do something and that's what your frustration and why you started crying. It wasn't one attempt.
Yeah, every year it's how sad is it that I'm a woman in her 30s with a goal of just being able to do her own hair? I just want something that it's out of my face and I don't feel like I gave up on life. So that's why I'm tired.
You got it. You got it.
Thanks.
Don't give up.
Thank you.
I know you can do it. You're going to have some badass braids and then you'll be on YouTube giving tutorials. to like 8 million people and you're going to make all your money with that. And I'm going to be fucking angry. I'm going to be angry.
We both like have like 9 different skills that we've really learned. And the one that's making me money is like, again, something a 14-year-old girl does on YouTube for funsies.
I'm going to start making money by being one of those videos that like Japanese people watch to not have dinner by themselves. That's what I'm going to make my money doing.
First of all, did not know that was a thing. And second of all, I will be your first subscriber. That is amazing. What does that entail?
I think it's just, I don't know. Johnny pointed it out to me when I kept talking. I roasted a bunch of vegetables for us for lunch. And I was like, I really like the red peppers because like all the sugar comes out, but with the salt, it's like got all these flavor profiles.
He heard you talking about vegetables and you were like, this is a type of conversation that someone really has to be lonely or love you. And I think you can make money off the first one.
Yeah. I just went to YouTube video of people eating so that you're not lonely. And I as soon as I wrote video of people, here's the list: yawning, laughing, walking, crying, falling, dancing. So maybe the more you try to braid your hair, you should just video yourself crying because there's a market out there for it.
Oh, good.
People will watch anything. So
believe me, as 2 comedians that put stuff online, we are very aware of that. I've also I joined TikTok like 6 months ago or whatever. And the videos that have, I'm not exaggerating, like 10 million views is just a pretty girl eating cake or like a pretty girl drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's nothing. There's nothing unique about it. She's not even like the prettiest girl you've ever seen. Her boobs aren't even out. You're just like, wait, what? Like there is a part of me that's like, why am I trying to craft? Like, why did I work on my personality for so long? Like, I just, I did so much therapy. I just don't understand.
I have a huge butt. Why don't I just put that on Instagram? Millions of followers.
Dude, you would. You absolutely, like, what's sad about it is if we had like sacrifice, especially just go with body, we would already be like financially set and famous. It's that silly. And having integrity sucks. I really am mad at my dad.
I didn't want to like insult all the people who have gotten attention that way, but
it's fine if you have it, flaunt it. I mean, I don't see a butt model and I get angry. It really doesn't bother me. What does bother me is that that type of attention and validation wouldn't do anything for me. And that's what's upsetting. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody goes, wow, you are beautiful and your ass changes my life, I'd be like, why would you say that to me? Like, I would be upset about it, even though secretly I would be like, well, that's nice, but I don't want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from my boyfriend and like probably my friends to be like, your butt looks amazing. Thank you so much, Maria. Like I don't get real validation, but when somebody says I'm funny, when somebody says my jokes like make them feel better, I've worked so hard on it. And it is something that I've like crafted and it is important to me and what have you. So it's like, there is a tinge of jealousy that one has to do. I'm not saying they do little, because some of them you see their workout videos and you're like, I barely try at the gym. Like, that's just amazing that you have so many butt exercises. But it is a little bit like, I don't know why my parents didn't let me just slide under the radar and be a webcam girl.
Well, it's just like we're like out there trying to get our thoughts heard.
Feminism is exhausting.
So if it is like, it's like, I like your butt. It's like, great. But like, did you hear my punchline? Because that's where my, what's the word? Like the currency is. Yeah,
that's where my heart is. That's where all my effort went to. That's why I get so upset. Like, that's the funniest part. Like, I don't think people realize that they'll lead with like, you're beautiful. And then they'll be like, and I really liked your material. And you'd be like, you piece of shit. Like, why would you lead with that? Like,
that's infuriating. I remember when I had a TV set and my friends were like, oh my God, you looked so good. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear I was funny. I was
on stage for 20 minutes working my hardest. I can't do much about my face. Like, there's really little I can do. But I worked 4 months on that joke. Like, yeah, I think that, and don't get me wrong, it's like, who doesn't like to feel attractive? And I know that's a luxury to even feel attractive. That's like the hardest thing, is it like, it's a luxury to even get positive attention in that way, to be like, it's not even important to me. But at the same time, when I put something online, it was 100% for you to enjoy my material. That's what I worked on. Begin to Google.
Yeah. So basically, the longer you work on your braids, the more you will accept praise for them when you do get them.
It is, and it's clearly just from women. All I need is one woman to be like, "Oh, I love your hair. How'd you do that?" And I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so easy." That's really what you want to say, right? Like
it'll take you like 3 seconds.
Oh, dude, I just taught myself last week, but it's really easy. If you can't do it, you're dumb. Should we get in our Googles?
Yeah, let's do our Googles.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm having a good hair day.
Oh, this is a very hair episode. I love it. Definitely.
I'm trying that, and I'm just going to take a picture and send it to you. It's just going to be like revenge braid, and I don't know what I'm getting revenge for. I Googled, is French pressed coffee bad for you?
Wow, this is a very French episode.
Is it? No, French braids, French press. Good for us.
That is, we never plan this. We're just accidentally on topic. I'm really proud of us. Yeah. So is French press what?
Coffee bad for you?
Oh, why would it be? I wouldn't even have that logic.
A long time ago, I remember something about like the oil in coffee isn't filtered out. And so like it's supposed to like give you high cholesterol if you drink unfiltered coffee. And so I was like, I remember hearing about that years ago. And so I just decided to Google it because I was like, is that the thing? Because I just bought a new French press. It's called a cafetiere here. But and the coffee's amazing. But so anyway, I Googled it, and yes, there is more cholesterol in that coffee. Yes, it can be bad for you. The amounts are minimal, but if you're on the edge, say like if you're on the edge of having high cholesterol, it can teeter you over the edge if you have like 4 to 6 cups a day, which is what I have.
You have 4 to 6 cups of coffee a day?
I need to settle because like a mug is about 2 cups of coffee. Nobody has a cup of coffee it's like a half a mug of coffee. So yeah, so that if you have 1 mug, that's 2. So if you have 2 mugs, that's 4. And say you have a third in the afternoon, that'll be 6. And espresso has the same amount, but because you're taking espresso in smaller amounts, it's not as bad. So you got to watch that.
As somebody that doesn't drink coffee, I mean, I had like a couple of years when I did drink coffee. And I always said I didn't drink coffee. I drank melted coffee ice cream.
Yeah, you were always going for the like frappa, whippy, like caramelly stuff.
Anything a teenager would drink, or like a mom of 6 that like, this is going to come out wrong, but just like somebody that's just like at a Dunkin' Donuts that is just like put in, I say this and I'm just really describing my mom, but like my mom would drink these like big coffees with a lot of like, you know what? I don't know if she put as much sugar in it. That's not fair to my mom. But my mom would drink a shit ton of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I think she still drinks a shit ton of Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Dunkin' Donuts is good coffee. I miss it.
I liked it. I preferred it over Starbucks, but I at the same time don't have any foundation to what I like. Let's put it this way. So my friend Hurry, who I would go on the road with and open for, he's like a coffee connoisseur, and he would go to any kind of independent coffee shop every city we would go to. And rarely I would drink it because it really hurts my stomach and it's just not good for me. But sometimes I'd be so tired, or we'd be driving for hours and I didn't want to kill us. So we'd go somewhere and I would get something. And he's just a nice person. They'd be like, "Oh, how's the coffee?" He's like, "Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much." And I remember this so clearly. We were in St. Louis and it was like this. He asked like a bunch of people, "What's a new independent coffee place? I just want to support somebody." They tell us, we go to this little like hole in the wall. It's like both an art exhibit and a coffee place. The woman's so nice. She makes me a mocha, makes him whatever he gets. And we talk to her and then we leave and he's like, "It's amazing. Thank you so much." We don't even get half a block and he throws it in the garbage. And I was like, "What? I thought you said it was amazing." He's like, "It's burnt. There's all these issues." Like he was like telling me the same way somebody would like talk about wine. He's like, "Oh, gross," and da-da-da-da. And I was like, "You said it was amazing." He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to hurt her feelings." I was like, "How is she ever going to get her coffee place off the ground if you keep telling her that it's great?" And then I was drinking mine. He's like, "Is yours burnt?" I was like, "I don't even know what that would taste like. It tastes like chocolate and caffeine." Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's really
a really funny movie about 2 Brooklynites who are trying to get to the beach, but it takes them the whole movie to get there. But they're stuck somewhere deep in Brooklyn. They're 2 snobs. I think I'm the only person who ever loved the movie. But
you made me watch it and I hated it.
Yeah, no one liked it. I loved it. But they go to get iced coffee in this bodega. And so this woman just puts a little bit of ice in cups and pours coffee over it. And they're like, "Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you." And they just go outside and throw it out. But if you have a taste for coffee, I could totally see. I can't stand a shit cup of coffee. Like I would rather.
But
I mean, it's nice of him.
I don't know what a
woman.
shit cup of coffee tastes like. I mean,
Right,
like
because
I don't
you
have.
don't have a discernible palate.
I was gonna say mature palate. That was actually very nice of you.
Also, no one likes people with discernible palates, but
in
I get it.
anything.
Yeah.
I've even gotten a little highbrow with what I like in comedy, and I've actually learned when somebody like asks like who do you like or what kind of comedy do you like, I keep it real simple, because if you start getting like heady about it, people are like, okay, you think you're better than me because you don't like fart jokes, and you're like, I do like fart jokes, but they need to be thought out.
I just did a podcast today where it's like, who are your comedy influences? And I just give the same 3 names every time I'm asked that question because I'm asked it all the time.
But aren't you waiting for them to be like almost judgmental of your choices? Because it's the same way that like if you asked like a wine connoisseur what your favorite wine is, and you like went into a deep answer, they'd be like, dude, just say red. Like, what are you doing? Like,
wait, if you asked a wine connoisseur what your favorite wine is, and you went into I got lost in your analogy.
Well, I'm just saying that even when somebody is an expert or like that's their thing, even when somebody deep dives in it, unless somebody's on the same level as you just sound obnoxious.
Yeah, well, when people ask about your favorite comedians, they just want to match it to who they have in their head. Like, who are your influences? Oh my God, I love them too. But if you start getting into like obscure people no one's heard of, they'll go, oh yeah, I'll check them out. And like, we'll have no intention of doing so. It's a chance for them to connect with you. Oh, you like this person? I like this person. Oh my God, we have the same comedy taste.
Yeah, you always have to have like 2 old school or big people in there, or they check out.
Totally. I don't even know who to say anymore. I'm just like, I don't know. I've seen so much comedy. Like I can't, everyone's my comedy influence and no one at all at the same time. I hate that question.
I went on a coffee tangent, but I don't know anything about. I think I know what a French press looks like because of you. Yeah, anything I know about coffee, like my mom is a heavy coffee drinker, and my dad doesn't drink it at all. But my mom drinks like I think about 40 cups a day. I think that's pretty standard for her. But like my mom drinks a lot of coffee, but like you're the person that like made it discernible for different levels. My boyfriend just walked in and showed me his French press, which made me happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I thought it's funny because I also thought I saw that and I was like, I think that is a French press.
Make sure he knows not to have more than 6 cups in a day.
I will. You know what? I think his life has changed. I think we've influenced him.
That's the whole point of our podcast, is to save lives.
But the truth is I didn't know what it was until I was about to say since I started dating you, but that's not what we are.
Oh.
But we have such a deep friendship and we've spent so much time together that I'm like, you're like my revolving girlfriend. Like even when I date new guys, I'm like, oh, you'll have to love Maria, just so you know.
Yeah. It's just a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If Johnny didn't like you, it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
It'd be a real problem.
I feel like I have a picture of you in my wallet, like an old school dad, and it'd be like, this is the love of my life. You better respect her. And then like flip my wallet back and they're like, cool, it's our second date. Weirdly enough, my Google is about my boyfriend. So I have never experienced this before, but he twitches before he goes to bed, or like as he's falling. Like I know when he's falling asleep because his body twitches. And I actually try to fall asleep before him because it keeps me awake. Like it wakes me up. Like we might be both falling asleep at the same time, and then he starts like twitching.
I do it.
Do you?
I've scared the shit out of Johnny because like my arm will be around him, and then I'll just like pretty much like kind of hit him, and he's just like he'll jolt and be like, "What the fuck?" And like I don't know. I didn't know. I don't think I've ever known that I twitched before, but I do the same thing. Like I can't wrap my arm around him when I start falling asleep because.
And is it every night?
I'll do that, and I'll like hit him. Yeah, it's pretty much every night. Yeah,
it's every night. I was scared when we first started dating because I was just like, does he have like a neurological disease? Like I was like, I do not understand this. I have never experienced it before. But I can tell like if like he's upset with me, I know because he's not falling asleep. Like I'll know that he's awake. Like it's so weird. It's so weird to be laying next to somebody and be like, he's awake. I know he's awake because he hasn't
Are
twitched
you
yet.
mad at me because you're very still?
Yeah, truly. I looked it up. First of all, it's a crazy common. 60 to 70% of Americans twitch. And it's not even called that. It's called hypnic jerks or sleep starters, which I thought was like
What's the first one?
hypnic, hypnic, hypnic jerks or sleep starters, which I was just like, oh, I like how they like had a professional name, and somebody's like, we'll just call them sleep starters for the Liz's of the world.
Yeah.
But it's these like kind of little like muscle spasms. They say that there's nothing wrong with them. You can have more of them because you have like caffeine too late at night, or like you exercised before bed or something like that. Like that can make them more prevalent. And what's weirder is I can't figure. So I have done it. I've done it where I wake myself up. He never wakes himself up, but I've done it where like I've jolted so much that I woke myself up, but I can't figure out if he like influenced me and or I just didn't notice until we started dating. Oh, and then the other thing is like being really tired or like exhausted can also like make them more prevalent. So I was just like, oh, I should be having them.
What causes it? Do you know?
I couldn't figure out what causes it. But it's like not dangerous. Like I've looked everywhere. Nowhere do they like this is the problem. Like there's no.
Because it happens I think it happens when you smoke pot too. Because I remember like years ago, if I'd smoke pot, like my muscles would twitch, and I think it's like you're relaxing before your brain is relaxing.
Yeah, something like that. I read like a couple of articles. Everything says it's not a big deal, and that's usually when my like research stops. I'm like, am I gonna die? And they're like, no, and I'm like, cool, figure that out. I have to say it's really hard not to be concerned, even though every single article says don't be concerned, and it's super normal, and everybody does it even if they don't know they do it.
Yeah, well, I do it, so it's maybe you have a type.
yeah, I do have a type. I've dated 3 different guys that have night terrors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's the first time I was like, I think I have a type, and it's psychological. I was like,
night terrors are terrifying. I don't have them, but like just hearing about them, I'm like, that's.
Oh yeah, I've been screamed at while sleeping several times.
Aren't night terrors why like some people end up killing their spouses in bed?
No, that's what Mike Birbiglia has, the REM sleep disorder. Like that's when that night terrors is when your dreams are like so now we're going into something I don't even completely know, but like in my mind night terrors are when like the dreams are so real that like not act them out, but you're like in the moment. And
but that's what I thought. That's why people get strangled, because like there's an intruder, and so the person sleeping thinks they're protecting their home from an intruder, but really they're strangling their spouse.
Yeah, but I still think it's a REM disorder. Like I've never. Now we have to look.
Why don't we come back to it? Like we'll do some research on night terrors.
I have to write that down, or I'm going to forget night terrors. But yeah, it is. I'm not joking. 3 different boyfriends, night terrors, and it's not fun. I will tell you. Like I'll take twitching over night terrors. That is the worst alarm clock that one can have, is somebody screaming, and you're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "I'm fine." And you're like, "Cool, you're sweating and you look mad." Okay, let's get personal. My question is, would you rather be hot or cold?
It's so cold in this house.
It is. You're at your boyfriend's, but I was gonna say your own apartment is freezing.
Yeah, but you know, I have like a heated blanket and a weighted blanket, and it's so funny because Johnny's flatmate, when I was telling him about my bed, because I was like, it's got a mattress pad, a heated blanket, a weighted blanket. He was like, oh, you want to sleep like a panini? I was like, yeah.
I'm trying to panini myself.
Some people sleep like a burrito. It just depends on what sandwich you like. I pass out when it's hot, and if it's cold, I can't do anything.
Yeah, neither feels good, but if I have to make a choice, it's hot. I cannot function when I'm cold. First of all, my level of kindness is gone. It's all gone. I cannot handle being cold. I'm angry when I'm cold. I can't think straight when I'm cold. I just truly, this is the first year I bought a space heater, because I was in my room absolutely freeze. I have a heated blanket, but like that stuff to like, I don't want to be stuck in my bed all day. Like I also hate like the fact that I would like get up and I would just have to be like drinking tea all day, and I'd be having to wear like my winter coat in my apartment. Like, some of it is my body type. Like I don't like, I've actually looked into like, am I anemic? Like, why am I always
I
cold?
I googled the same thing. I googled one of my googles for this week was going to be why am I always cold, but I decided not to because I thought that would be like, I don't know. I was just like, who cares? But you care.
I do
Apparently.
care. There are no dumb Googles
So
on this
funny.
podcast.
I absolutely googled why am I always cold, and anemia came up, and this is, some people's body temperatures are just lower. But like Johnny can stand a lot more cold than I can stand, and I'm exactly like you. I get in a bad mood. I can't think. I can't function. I hate being in bed. Like and then if I have to get out of bed, that freezing, like is the worst. That's hilarious.
I was such an annoying bitch when I was staying with you because I was so cold, and I would get like all comfy under your panini situation. And then I would be like, fuck, I have to brush my teeth. And you'd be like, you don't have to brush your teeth. And I was like, just like, do, Maria, you did this to me in this cold apartment. I just can't.
Bathroom had no heat. Oh, it was like going in an outhouse.
Outhouse. Absolutely. Literally, that having to take your pants down outside feeling is like my sad, like, and I'm a peer. So I'm going into this outhouse like 40 times a day. I don't like it. I
know, but it's still the best house I've had here.
No, I do. I love your apartment. I don't want to trash your apartment. You have a great apartment, great roommates, great cat. You have a great situation. But I think that's just London in general. Every place I've been to is just drafty and just pretends like their windows are functional. And I'm like, I don't know when these windows were made. And I'm happy you guys have history, but oh my fucking God, every room feels like outside. Brooklyn, like, so New York, you can't control your thermostat unless you're rich. Like that's like that you have to like buy into control. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, no. So your heat goes on if it goes below 40. But first of all, the first like week it goes below 40, everybody's pretending it's not happening. It's not like winter starts, goes below 40 and they turn on the heat. It's like for 2 weeks, you're like, could we, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's winter. There's snow outside. Can somebody turn on the fucking heat? And then they just blast it, and they blast it for like, let's say 2 hours. So then you're just like in a t-shirt, and then they stop, and then it just stops for a couple of hours. And you're like, I don't need a blast of 100 degrees and then go back to 30. Like, I think that's the reason you get sick.
And something like years ago in the 90s or like early 2000s had a joke like the two settings in his New York apartment were freezing or Kenya.
There was another comic. Oh, I can't think of what his name is, but he had little notches on his window, and it said the degrees by opening the window. So it would be like 70, 75, 80, like depending on how much he opened and closed the window, because that's the only way you can really control anything in New York. You have a heater that's outside your means. But yeah, I would never choose cold. Like, and I think a lot of people intrinsically think that, like, I'm not going to go on vacation to, Finland in the winter, but I'm so much that I'm like, why is skiing a fun vacation? Like, I'm the type of person that even in the summer, I have to bring kind of, I would say, a medium-sized sweatshirt or jacket on the subway, because they air condition the fuck out of the subway and I'm freezing. Or planes. I sat next to a very like petite Asian girl wearing shorts and a tank top. It was like July. It was the right outfit for what was going on. And I was wearing a sweatshirt, a jean jacket, sweatpants, boots. Like, I was like wearing all the clothes and I was shivering. And I could not figure out why she wasn't dying on the plane. Like, I just was like, I can't. I think I'm anemic is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe so. Maybe there's tests that you can do, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, but you have to learn to dress in layers, because it is freezing on the subway and hot on the fucking street. And
on the platform. You get off the platform and it's literally like someone breathing on you.
I was going to say, that's exactly the analogy. I used to come out of the office when I worked in an office in New York, and it just was like, and you're like, oh God.
I feel violated.
So that's the weather.
Okay, so our topic today, or this week, is just like Botox and like aging and wrinkles. Like, it's funny, like, we're both in our 30s, and this is when all advertisers, have you noticed your advertising has changed online? Like I feel like they know they have to know our age. I put my age. Every single thing asks for your birthday. I feel like the entire internet knows my age, and they're just like, "Hey, you're gonna be 35 soon. Do you want to do something about your face?" Like I feel like they're whispering messages that like, this is my last year of my face being what I want it to be, and I want to be like, it's never been what I want it to be. Internet, you can't hurt me. Have you ever experienced this? So, I would get my eyebrows threaded, or I'd get my eyebrows waxed, whatever I was doing at this point, because it's so common. So I would go in and I'd be like, hey, can I just get my eyebrows threaded? And they'd be like, sure. They do it and they go, anything else? And I go, no. And they'd be like, do you want to wax your lip, or do you want to? And it's like, okay, I know there's hair there, but I've already done something about it. So they're just intrinsically being like, this is also a thing you should be insecure about. Like, even though it's not even, there's no hair there. I've already taken care of it. You're saying this is probably a problem for you. Or in my mind, the way I read it is, let me give you an insecurity about it. And that's almost how I feel about the advertising. Like we both look pretty young. Like both of us don't look like we're in our 30s, and I'm very grateful. Although like when I want anybody to take me seriously, I have to be like, I'm in my 30s. I've experienced stuff. As I say with braids in my hair. But there is
that are uneven.
Yeah, thank you. Very uneven. Car crash braids is what I'm calling these. But there is a part of me that like, they're just going, you're in your 30s. It's going to be a problem. No one's ever going to love you again. That you got to get on this now. Do anything you can to stay attractive. This is your future. Like, it just feels like they're trying to make you insecure, even if you're not insecure.
And it's also like, the more people who get it now, like suddenly you're aging at a faster rate than the people your age.
Yes.
It's just like, I look 20 years older than you.
And they're like, sorry,
I have the blood of a child in me. I'm like, what? Sorry, that was weird.
But whatever it takes not to have wrinkles. Like, this is the thing, is like, I don't think I'm as scared of wrinkles as much as I am about my I've always had big cheeks, and I think that whatever that skin is starting to be droopy. Am I drooping?
Yes.
And
so
then
the jowls.
And and then I have big cheeks, and I'm a big laugher. I could even see it in the video we made. I have these really strong lines around my mouth. And this is the funny part about it, is that they're there. I laugh. I'm a laugher. I like laughing. I'm not ashamed of getting older or having laugh lines. But when they stick, so like it sounds so silly. We did this video. We were laughing the whole time. And then after the laugh was over, they stay. And I was like, oh no, my parents were right. If I make that face for too long, it'll stay that way.
Yeah, I think crow's feet, which like the laugh lines on your eyes, I think they're really attractive on people, but it's just, you start to notice, like, I have so many Googles about this. I should have had a different one than the coffee thing. Cause like I have a double chin because I'd gained weight, but now I'm worried, like, even if I lose the weight, like if my skin is sagging just enough, like the chin will stay. I think the stigma around getting, they're now called like tweakments. And I think the stigma around getting them is less and less so. But I do think it's unfortunate that rather than just having a society of people who have wrinkles and saggy jowls and double chins, everyone's fixing them. And so that sort of like, it keeps you having to do it too, to stay in the standard of beauty, yada, yada, yada. But like,
it just makes me sad because
we're in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just easy for us to just be like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm above that. Because do you know what? The industry isn't. So it's like, this is something we have to contend against. And it's either we get super fat and be hilariously overweight, or perfect and stick thin, or perfect. Or stick thin. And, and that people who are in between, it's just like, they're so girl next door, like the Lena Dunham, the Amy Schumers. And I like that they're out there and doing well. Or were, I don't know, Lena Dunham got a lot of shit, but like, I liked her show Girls because it made me see that like women can have a show and not be perfect. And I want that. But every time I think, I have this dream of having my own TV show, but every time I look in the mirror, I go, who's going to give you your own TV show? You're not a leading lady. You're not like beautiful like that. And so I just have to remind myself that these people do get them.
No, also that makes me sad, and you are beautiful. I think what sucks, and I remember this conversation so much because I don't think I ever, this is where like my white lady privilege is out there, but I remember you being so pissed off. You're like, why is an angel in every single movie and show always like a thin blonde white lady? Like why can't there be a black angel? Why can't there be an ethnically ambiguous angel? Why can't there be a Latina angel? Why is this definition of an angel, an angelic woman, always this very pale, pixie thin blonde lady? And I was like, yeah, like I was like, yeah, why the fuck is that? But it is that same, like this idea of what virginal and like pure is. But then also, you know what's so funny? So me and my boyfriend started watching 24. He's seen it. I hadn't seen it. And the first season is in 2000. So it's still like this 90s idea of beauty. And the women are like emaciated skinny. They're like Ally McBeal skinny. So they're like, their noses are like little pixie tiny noses, and their body, like they're a level of skinny that you're like, if they look this skinny on television, I cannot imagine what they look like in real life. Very nice. I'm not judging skinny women, but it's just like, I remember how bad the 90s made me feel, which was like, you have to be, I don't know.
What's that model's name? The really thin one that had a cocaine problem. But yes.
All of them?
Go on. Yeah.
But like, I just felt like 90s was like, you have to be almost sickly to be desirable. And then it really has changed. I don't know if J-Lo changed it with like asses being a thing, or the fact that more Latinos are in the limelight. I don't know what it is, but like, you don't have to be emaciated woman.
Dude, I could have used the Kardashians growing up. Like, I grew up an Egyptian in Ohio. I could have used something like the Kardashians saying like, your big butt is a good feature, because I felt like a freak.
I think there's a part of me that's like, I'm very fortunate that I am not aging, that most people think I'm like 24. I've had people that were like, how have you been doing stand-up as long as you have? And I was like, well, I was born in the 80s and you can't tell. This is the thing though, is like, I don't think I almost feel so out of the loop, because my friends or my peers started talking about like injections and Botox and like all that stuff. Most of my friends are about 5-10 years older than me, but I'm talking about friends that are even my age that were like, yeah, there's Groupons and you can get Botox. And so you're supposed to start young. And I'm like, what? Like, in my mind, how is starting earlier the bet? Like, there's a half-life for these things, and it technically is a poison. So if you start earlier, it'll stop working earlier. Like, that's what I don't understand.
Well, the idea is that it's training your muscle to relax them, because that's what Botox does, right? It relaxes your muscles so that it doesn't give you the wrinkle, the 11s that they call, those vertical lines between your eyebrows. So it'll train your muscle to relax. So the more you do Botox, the more it just does it on its own, is the idea. I'm worried that that isn't the case, and that the more Botox you do, the more you need. And so
I think that's 100% what it is. I think it's 100% the same way that like you smoke a bowl of pot and you get high, and then you keep doing that, and eventually you need to smoke 2 bowls, like any kind of drug.
I don't think with Botox that's the case. Like, physically, I don't think Botox means that you have to get more
to have the same results.
Have the same result. I do think it might be the case for Juvederm, which is a different thing and confused a lot of the times. And I also think mentally people will just do more and more and more because they're sort of addicted to the change. So it's sort of like when you get a tattoo and then suddenly like you want to get another tattoo, or for me, it was piercings at one point in my life.
Well, it's a 2-part question for me. So first of all, if it's relaxing your muscles, why is that typical, like she can't smile because she's had too much Botox when women are no longer able to be expressive because they've had so much Botox? So if it's training your muscles to relax, why is getting too much of it freeze your face?
Because these women started later in life and their muscles were already, like the wrinkles were already deeper set. So I think what that knowledge is now is that if you start early, you can train your muscles early on to relax, so you won't need that much that you can't move your mouth. I'm guessing. I would love it if someone shined a light on this stuff, because I'm really interested in it.
I just, nothing about it is desirable to me. Like, it's funny to be like, hey, I am worried, both as somebody that is in the limelight, but also just, I think the worry comes from, this has been my face for so long, and I'm scared to look in the mirror. I'm scared that my phone isn't going to recognize me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared that like,
Well, there is a certain Beverly Hills look where I remember going to the Peninsula when I was in LA this last time, and they're like, it's like everybody's related. They all sort of look the same.
oh, dude, the amount of women that get lip injections now, like regular women, because that's the other thing is as it becomes more socially acceptable and as Groupons and that kind of stuff make it more financially accessible, all women have the same lips now and they all look a little bit like someone punched them in the face a week ago.
And I think you can overdo it on that stuff. But I guess like where we veer off is that you're not impressed with any of it and you don't want to do it. I do want to do it, but I want to do it subtly. And I'm hoping that's the case. I hope it's not that I'll just have to do it more and more every time. But like I do want a little Juvederm. I want a little Juvederm in my upper lip, but not so much that I look punched in the face, just a little bit of filler. I want a little filler in my cheekbones so that my cheeks lift up a little bit so I don't have the marionette lines and the jaw lines that you were talking about. I want to do this stuff.
But this is my worry. And this is where I think it becomes a slippery slope. And this is why I think you get these kind of monster looking women after a while. And you're like, how did they let their face become so distorted? I think the issue is that you do it once and it works. So you do it, you get the results, you feel amazing, you look amazing. You're like, oh my God, it works. So then you do it a second time. And let's say the second time it works. And then you do it a third time. It's not really the results, but you're still remembering that it did work at one point. So you're like, maybe it's a bad batch or maybe you need a little bit more. And so then you do a little bit more. And then maybe that time it works. And then next thing you know, it just kind of sneaks up on you. And now you're somebody that can't move their face. They kind of look like a monster. Their cheekbones are now inside their eyeballs. Like, I just feel
Yeah,
like...
but I think that depends on the people doing it. And this is the problem, is that too many people are doing it. It's not just doctors and dermatologists. It's people who do nails also go, do you want a Botox injection? It is the Groupons. It is the people who are inexperienced that will give you too much or do too much where you know, like we had a friend that like her right eyelid went limp for a month because they got the Botox too close to a muscle. Then she couldn't open her eye. I think it's an industry that isn't regulated as much, or it grew faster than it could be regulated. But like, I just think there are too many people out there doing these things that don't have the experience behind it. And that can really fuck someone up. And as far as older women go, they started earlier when the technology was less. I don't know. But, and this is my biggest problem with all these things, because I did a series of, I think, 8 treatments of like a laser on my face to get rid of my acne scars. And the idea was the laser would penetrate a layer of my skin that would then cause it to build the collagen to build up my skin back up. It would destroy a layer underneath so that the collagen would build it back up so that it would like basically fill out the acne scars that are on my face. And so right after I did it, they would like, it hurt. It just felt like somebody snapping a rubber band on me over and over and over again. And they had to numb my face. I did it. And every time I did it, my face would puff up and then like slowly calm back down. But it did look great. But long term, it's like the scars are still there. And I remember talking to one of the girls who was administering it, I think on my last one. And she was like, well, you have to keep doing them. You've only done, I think I did 6 or 8, and it was expensive. This is thousands of dollars it cost me.
Yeah.
And she was like, you have to do another 8. And it's just like, okay, at what point am I being taken advantage of? Does this work? If I did another 8, will it work? Or is this just the industry that's taking money from me?
And like, when does certain body types, when does genetics come into place? Like, there is a part of you that's like, the fact that non-doctors can be injecting something into you, the fact that we could get a certificate.
We could do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, could you imagine that's one of our like Patreon benefits?
That would be so funny. Yeah.
A certain tier is that we do stuff with no education.
Our slogan would be, we'll give it a shot.
You were so proud of that. I can see your smile through the audio.
I couldn't wait to get it out. I couldn't even think of the word slogan. I was like, oh.
Okay, well, we've just changed our entire podcast to two non-doctors. We'll give it a shot. And we will be giving out flu shots and Botox shots. I think I could find a vein.
Sorry, did we hit a nerve?
Okay, nope. I'm going to find a different co-host.
Right, your mom's really good at this.
Yeah, no, she's going to be, she's actually just going to end up taking this. You know how like late night TV, like it happens very rarely, but they'll like take a break or they'll get sick. So they have like somebody fill in. I just feel like at some point we're going to have my mom fill in for us. And then eventually it's just going to be her podcast.
Dude, that's happening.
Yeah.
It's
inevitable.
Whether it's sooner or later, it's inevitable. Yeah. Your mom's going to have her own podcast and she's going to have millions of followers.
My mom is 63. She is not a girly person. I think I've seen my mom in makeup 7 times my entire life. Apparently when we were young, my mom had like one dress that she would wear to all events. And
like Marge Simpson?
She is like a Marge Simpson. She had like one hairdo, one dress. I think my mom looks amazing. I don't think my mom looks 63, but at the same time, I also think she's done probably nothing. I don't even know if I've seen my mom use lotion. I'm actually worried because my hands, like my skin is very dry, but my face is very oily, that the rest of me is going to look all shriveled up, but my face is going to look 30 for the rest of my life. That's my.
I think that's best case scenario. Like looking 30, the rest of your life is awesome. So what if you had wrinkled hands?
Yeah, I just never take off gloves. I just look like I'm from like the 30s, and I'm just like, oh, darling.
Debonair.
Yeah, darling. You never know what you're gonna touch. Really, it's just like the coronavirus had an effect on me, and I'm just like, oh, darling, I wear gloves everywhere, and people are like, I heard her hands look like dead spiders. I love that we can't stay on topic.
Why? We don't need to.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my final question. If you had unlimited amount of money, would you try all these things?
God, yes. Are you kidding? This isn't even, oh my God. I'd start with Juvederm. I'd get the Botox in my forehead. I'd get a little bit of lip filler and stop it. Unlimited money, you said.
Sorry.
And I might even look into like a nose job because I love
your
know
nose.
What? I'm old enough to have dealt with it. Like, I don't like my nose. I've thought about it for 2 decades at least. I want it. I want a nose job. But it's like you said, it's terrifying because it's my face. And if anything goes wrong, you can't do anything about it.
Or if you don't like
it's like the laser eye surgery.
Yeah, no, it's like you don't like it. Like, then you have to hate your face for a different reason. And it's your fault now. Like, I don't like my nose either, but like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
it's like, this is genetics and bullying from when I was 12. Weirdly enough, everything that we've had to do with Zoom, like the Zoom culture that's taken off, there is no angle that doesn't make my nose look huge on Zoom. Like nothing. There's nothing I can do that doesn't make me look at my Zoom picture while it's happening, or like when people post it and not go, all I see is my nose. But I have looked in the mirror and gone, I don't care. I think that's the hardest part, is that like I've spent all this time with self-acceptance up until this moment, and now I'm changing again, and that's what's upsetting. So it's taken me so much like self-help books and therapy and self-acceptance and love and what have you to be like, this is what I look like and I'm happy with it. So the fact that it's now changing, I'm like, God damn it. like I feel like it's like another overhaul. Like I am just starting to, for the first time in my life, get sucked into like wrinkle cream advertisements and being like, maybe that is the serum. Maybe that is what I need to do. And this is how I try to talk to myself. But like, if you made all those changes, especially a nose job, I'd be like, that's not my friend. Like I would look at you and be like, that I don't recognize that person.
Yeah.
Even though that is your face and you have every right to do whatever you want to it. And that's also, keep in mind, we're aging or whatever. That would break my heart because I love your face. Truly. I know that's like a funny thing that we say to each other. Like, it's just like, I love your face, but I do. I like, that is like it's weird how like bullying and not looking like the magazines and like just that kind of looking any kind of ethnic is like so frowned upon. It's so crazy to like think that like they're letting you be like slightly ethnically ambiguous. I just feel like this is where I get like all sappy and self-lovey, but there is a part of me that's like, I'd rather do more work on accepting myself and a little bit of, I don't know, wrinkle cream, as opposed to being like, I'm going to give this thing that seems to barely be working for people a shot and then destroy my face. Don't destroy your face.
Nice. That was really nice, but I'm not gonna get a nose job, but I'm definitely still gonna like maintain.
Can I at least be kept in the loop so I can have some influence? Or are you going to keep me out of the loop?
Oh, yeah, I'll keep you in the loop. But like, I mean, I don't have any money. First of all,
that's good. We barely can pay our bills. So
it's why we do comedy. It's so that people go, "Hey, your personality is awesome. I don't care what you look like."
I don't know how this one got sad.
I don't think it did. I think we're working on our personalities to the point where it doesn't matter what we look like. I think that's a great goal.
I do think like episode like 400 of Two Non-Doctors is us just pawning wrinkle creams. Like I do think like our advertisements are going to get crazy, and that it's just going to. I do see a very funny future of like people being like, they've really eaten their words, and they have their own wrinkle line now.
Try everything.
Yeah, try everything. There's no guarantee. Sorry, you don't love yourself. Thanks for listening, guys. I don't know. I would like to hear people that have tried it. Like, I don't want to hear like my friend tried it and da-da-da. I would like to hear from people that are like, I've tried Botox, I've tried injections. What's the thing you were talking about? The Duoderm? I've never even heard of that.
Juvederm is the filler.
Oh, the filler.
It's just a brand of filler.
Oh, it was like the Kleenex, like the Kleenex and the chapstick of.
Yeah, I would like to hear from anybody who's tried like facial fracturing or lasers to get rid of acne scars and if it's worked for them.
Oh, yeah. We're really just doing research through our fans. Email us at twonondoctors@gmail.com. Please follow us. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Two Non-Doctors. I think only Instagram is the one I couldn't get the full word doctors.
Thank you to all our Patreons. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for being there. And if you want bonus episodes and early episodes,
if you want to control our Googles, like if you want to influence what we talk about, please. We love ideas. I honestly, even just having my mom on and finding out what she Googles is like fascinating to me. Like I love hearing what like is like important to other people. But yeah, we appreciate all the comments, all the emails, you guys listening, you guys sending our podcast to other people. This really means a lot to us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
That's just amazing that you have so many butt exercises.